Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Ifeni. Good morning, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Ruben the Malabite. Good morning, Victoria Tundu MQ Abiola.
Good morning.
Turned for a Tuesday.
Oh, alliteration. I like it.
Ifeni the poet.
Now let's start the review with this day. Nigeria's newspaper of record, the lead story. UK High Commissioner Atiku's idea on security, economy, development, interesting. As PDP presidential candidate seeks increased collaboration with Britain, Wike's group gives condition for peace, wants equal stake. Parties BOT meets, sets up committee on reconciliation. Yes, Atiku Abubakar had that meeting with the British High Commissioner and her team, and of course putting across his ideas if and when he becomes president. Now, yes, this series of interaction between the British High Commissioner, perhaps to deepen democracy in the light of the general election which is coming up in February. I want to believe they will also interact with other presidential candidates of the various political parties. So, yes, ideas interesting, not necessarily an endorsement of a candidate, because I want to believe that it will also happen with other candidates. But if they are starting with Atiku, then there's something about the Atiku candidacy that looks real and interesting also. Now, the other leg of the story there, which I will just move over to the next newspaper, the Daily Independent newspaper. Yes, PDP BOT expresses concern over confusion in party. Yes, Wike groups give conditions for reconciliation as calls for Yoshi Ayu's resignation heightens. Yes, the high drama in the PDP following, of course, the convention of the party, and the man at the center of it all, Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State. Well, I won't call him the big elephant because he has become a major factor in the party. He came second, and we also recall that but for that last-minute tumble, which Aminu Tambowa called step down for Atiku, Nyesom Wike was almost coasting home with the ticket of the PDP. But be that as it may, maybe that in itself is not the annoying part of the whole conversation. Because recall that in that convention, Nyesom Wike, when he was addressing the delegates, told them that no matter what, I am not leaving the PDP, no matter the outcome. Yes, but what followed the choice of the running mates, well, was Wike sounded out by Atiku at any point in time? Because that is part of the problem, that immediately after Atiku won, he reached out to Wike to sound him out on the possibility of being the vice president. But it was not an offer. It was a matter of sounding him out. But again, Atiku made his choice after a committee set up by the party made recommendations. Samuel Otom told us, the governor of Plateau State, told us that they voted and their choice, 17 out of 20, voted for Nyesom Wike, but was a mandate of that committee to vote or to make recommendations to the candidate to pick. And we recall that there were three frontrunners, all South governors, Nyesom Wike, Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State, and of course, Udom Emmanuel of Akwa Ibom State. And Atiku picked Okowa, giving a very long list of boxes that Okowa ticked for him to be picked. But what should the PDP do now? Wike and his group, and they are formidable. You wouldn't just write them off as inconsequentials, because these are governors who control their states and they are the party machinery. Of course, we also know that Wike controlled the machinery of the party in states where PDP are not the ruling party. So it's one conversation the PDP must handle with care. Yes, conditions and conditionalities have been given. Atiku must not do a second term. We are told it's part of the condition. We have to share the offices now, so that not when we get to power, you just brush us aside. Let's decide that now. And Ayu must go. Should Ayu go now? Iyoshi Ayu, the chairman of the party. Yes, you say, when the presidential ticket. But I thought it would be more sensible if you win the presidency, then immediately the chairmanship should move than to do it now in the middle of the campaigns. I thought that should be the more rational thing to do. But you know, politicians, they have their own way of thinking. And they're asking for all that. Why should Atiku not do a second term? Why should he do a second term? I'm sure these are some of the debates that the party National Working Committee or BOT will discuss when they meet tomorrow. And these conditions will be taken. Of course, politics is about who gets what and when and how, according to Harold Lasky. And I think if Nyenso Wike and his group are asking, what do we get for all our efforts? I don't think it is out of place. But let's look at the Guardian newspaper. Nigeria missing as BRICS move to cut Western domination. Country on waiting list to join BRICS. Accession talks have not commenced, says diplomat. Country will not meet economic criteria. Experts insist, not with a wobbling economy, because BRICS is about emerging economy. But again, you never can tell. One good president with the magic wand can just turn all these woes around. So still make effort to join this bloc, the BRICS bloc of 5 major economies: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Why will Nigeria not be there, the giant of Africa? We seem to be missing in action when it matters most. But again, the last 7 years has been a bit tepid, if you ask me. So if we are not in the big league, I'm not too surprised. Now, the Business Day newspaper, how Nigeria can fix FX crisis, tame inflation. Of course, that was the basis of that report by Onye Sunday, which you considered a short while ago. Now, the Punch newspaper, planned attacks, police strategize, NCDC warns as terrorists infiltrate South. Lagos CP, area tactical commanders hold emergency meeting, call for vigilance. FRSC declares war on unregistered motorcycles. Arewa youth demand NSA's sacking. Yes, that the National Security Advisor should be sacked. Some group called themselves Arewa Youths, of course, they held that protest yesterday. 7,222 killed, 3,823 abducted in 7 months. Amotekun advises residents. Well, now, the Daily Trust newspaper, presidency waits into CBN NNPC feud. We remitted over $2 billion to our account with Apex Bank. NNPC Limited is insisting. How CBN augmented NNPC's $1.6 billion remittance for imports of petroleum products, to put it in context. Now, the foreign newspapers, quickly. The Times of London, BA suspends ticket sales. Airline hits Heathrow getaways at peak of summer. Fears that move will push up prices on rival carriers. Of course, British Airways has suspended sale of short-haul flights from Heathrow for at least a week in another blow to holiday makers. Well, expectedly, that will push up prices, but this unprecedented move will result in thousands of seats being removed from sale and will push up already high prices across the industry. Of course, the BA is responding to Heathrow's decision last month to cap passenger numbers at 100,000 a day during the peak of summer season. Of course, this restriction will last till at least September. So that's some another hurdle for travelers and holidaymakers to grapple with. But holidays, luxury, if you ask me. So if I were some families, I would just keep this if it is too high for your pocket. Now, the Daily Telegraph newspaper, Truss is candidate of hope, declares Mordaunt. Yes, Trade Minister backs Tory leadership frontrunner, saying he has the graft and authenticity to win. Yes, Penny Mordaunt once frontrunner. But again, after Lord David Frost delivered that killer blow on her character and competence, of course, she fell out of the race. And now, she's backing Liz Truss.
His candidate.
Yes. Is there something about women backing women there?
Well, it's nice to see. It's really, really nice to see. So it's a myth that women don't support women. It's a complete myth. It's nice to see, in spite of all that bitterness, which we hope happens in the case of PDP with their negotiation.
Yes,
Ruben. You were worried about, Nigeria not being a member of
BRICS.
Of BRICS. Well, as of 2018 or thereabouts, there were talks about, even earlier, about Nigeria, joining that economic bloc in terms of partnership, in terms of benefits that we could get from being a member, of that particular bloc, where China now is trying to leverage its, weight, in that group to see how those countries can come together and reduce the influence of the West. But will Nigeria be able to meet the criteria? If you look at the countries there, these are countries that are more developed than Nigeria in terms of industrialization, in terms of capacity and other factors. We may have population.
Are we not the giant of Africa?
Well,
India has population,
it's not just about
so does China.
It's not just about population.
But we are the giant of Africa, and South Africa is there.
No, it's not just about population. There are other variables.
Our economy was rated bigger than that of South Africa.
Joining BRICS. People used to talk about blinks.
Yeah.
They inserted Nigeria after the but is that the priority now for Nigeria? We probably have other priorities than joining an economic bloc at this time. And if we apply, would we be admitted? Anyway, thank you very much, Emmanuel.